and welcome to the second installment of Objectively Biased. I'm your host, the objective one, Steve Fogmeg. Now, a lot has happened since my first show. We've got the NCAA tournament, March Madness, right around the corner. Selection Sunday's here. We've got the NFL free agency market just starting. And what a frenzy that was. These guys were hitting the lottery every day, it seems. We've got Conor McGregor. He lost. We've got Calvin Johnson retiring. And the looming question of, is he a Hall of Famer or not? But what we're going to get into first is baseball. And we're going to get into Rich Goose Gossage, Hall of Fame pitcher, most notably known for his stints with the Yankees and the Padres. His comments towards baseball. I'm not going to go into everything that he said because there was a ton. But I'm going to take 2 points, one that I agree with and one that I disagree with. And the one that I agree with is the change and the way baseball has changed and the way they make changes. Particularly the way you slide into home plate. But they haven't changed the way you slide into second base. And the reason that's prevalent in this particular case, and he makes a lot of sense, is that not many catchers have actually been injured. I call this the Buster Posey rule because he got his knee blown out in a bad collision at home plate. And they changed the way, baseball changed the rules the way you slide into home plate. More injuries have occurred on shortstops and second basemen trying to turn a double play while the base runner was attempting to slide into to break up the double play than there have been in home plate. So why make the hypocritical change on one end but not the change on the other where more injuries occur? I agree with him there. I disagree with him in regards to the bat flipping and Jose Bautista in particular, who he addressed and called an effing disgrace to the game and a fool. Couldn't disagree more. As Bryce Harper said, the game is tired because there's no enjoyment in the game. Sports like basketball, football, you're allowed to celebrate. They've gotten with the times. In Japanese baseball, bat flipping is an art. They practice it to make it look pretty. Here, no, can't do that. Because if you do, the next time you're up, that pitcher is going to use that baseball as an assault weapon and drill you with an 85 to 95 mile an hour pitch. Yes, thank you, because that's what I need. An injury to prevent me from making money. Now, I disagree with him because times change, traditions change, and a lot of these older pitchers, especially pitchers, are upset with the bat flipping. They feel it's disrespectful. You're showing them up. Newsflash. If you don't want to be shown up by a batter, don't serve a meatball over home plate that gets smacked across the Canadian border where U.S. Customs has to go retrieve it for you. Very simple. Pick your location, hit your spot, and you won't get shown up. Don't cry about it. He hits a home run, wins a game, he can celebrate. Look at golf. Even golf celebrates. Tiger Woods, Sergio Garcia, Ricky Fowler. Golf, an old man tired sport, does more celebrating than baseball. I understand tradition, but traditions change. Let's get with the times, baseball. Now, we're going to go from shots fired and fighting words to actual fighting. Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor lost this past week. Many people were glad he lost. Many people felt that he deserved to lose, that this is going to be a humbling moment for him. I'm not going to address the 99.9% of the haters that wanted him to lose and feel that he needed to be humble. I'm of the 0.1% that disagree with that. But I'm going to address the people that fell in love with this man, that embraced him, his brash and brazen way, his trash talking. This is a guy who, this is his persona. This is what he built. And to say he needs to be humble, or he needed to be humbled, he needed this loss to be humbled. Quick background check. Conor McGregor grew up in poverty. Conor McGregor, up until 2013 when he received a $60,000 paycheck from the UFC, was collecting food stamps and welfare checks to hold him over while he was training for fights. So if you don't think he knows humility, guess again. He knows humble. This is his fight persona. This is what brings the butts to the UFC ring. This is what gets him paid. No, I don't like him, but I don't want him to be humble either. Rashard Evans isn't far from humble. Ben Askren is far from humble. Hell, Muhammad Ali, the greatest trash talker of all time, got his jaw cracked by Joe Frazier. Put in a hospital. Second fight came, he was talking just as much trash as he was the first time. Still calling him an Uncle Tom, still calling him an ugly gorilla, and then telling him he got lucky. Conor, don't be humble. Talk trash. I like it. I do want people's opinions on this and on the baseball, especially from baseball purists, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Steve Fogmeg. You can get on my Instagram account at @s_Fogmeg. I want to hear opinions. I want to hear from people. I want to hear what you guys think of that. Now we're going to go into Calvin Johnson. The question's going to be, after 9 years, Detroit Lions have pushed another superstar player out. Barry Sanders before, now Calvin Johnson. Good job, Detroit. Thumbs up. But the question's going to be, did he have enough of a career to be a Hall of Famer? At a glance, I'd say no. 731 receptions, good for 43rd all time. 11,619 yards, good for 27th all time. And 83 touchdowns, good for 22nd all time. Again, at a glance, no, he's not a Hall of Famer. Here's the thing. Where he ranks in all three of those statistical categories, he played 9 seasons and a total of 135 games. Everybody ranked ahead of him played 10 plus seasons and 150 games or more. If he played 12 seasons, at the numbers that he put up in the last 2 seasons, he'd be ranked in the top 15 in 2 of the 3 categories. Let that resonate. He's also holds records for 8 consecutive 100-yard receiving games. No one else has done that. 4 consecutive 10 or more catch games. Another record. No one else has done that. The single season catch and receiving yards record, which he did in 1 season. And he's the quickest to 10,000 yards receiving. When you look at it from that aspect, I'd say he's a Hall of Famer. I don't think anyone would disagree, but if you do, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Staying with football and tackling NFL free agency. We're going to go from teams that I feel personally won and teams that I feel lost during free agency. Now, there was a lot of money, like I said before, lots of money spent. A team that spent the most money were the New York Giants. And Giant fans feel there's a lot of hatred going on towards them, but I tell you what, even though I feel the Giants overspent, they did address needs that they had. And I don't believe in building a team in free agency, but I don't think the Giants are trying to build a team in free agency. Eli Manning is going into his 13th season now, and statistically speaking, he's not going to get any better. So what you saw the last 2 seasons is probably what you're going to get. They got to win now. But I also believe that the move by Jerry Reese to spend this money is to save his job. Last year, I think they lost something like 8 or 10 games in the 4th quarter in the last 2 minutes. Had their defense been able to hold, their offense made a couple of better plays, and Eli Manning made a couple of better decisions, this team might have been a 9-7, 10-6 team and winning the division. So I understand the addressing. I don't think they're going to win anything, but if Reese can save his job by winning the division, then the moves they made might have done that. The Eagles, they're winners too. They did a very good job in drafting. They addressed issues that they needed to. And as an Eagles fan, I can honestly say I'm finally happy. After 5 years, they actually did something right. They've spent over $600 million in free agency and haven't won anything. The Jacksonville Jaguars, thumbs up. They added pieces on their team through free agency, particularly Chris Ivory, to bring some veteran leadership to that team. That's a very young offense with Bortles, Yeldon, Robinson, very young team on the offensive side of the ball, and I think Chris Ivory is going to bring that balance to the running game and also that veteran leadership that they need in the locker room. Great pickup. As far as the losers, well, the Cleveland Browns. You win. You lost everybody. You lost Alex Mack, a top 5 center, Travis Benjamin, your only elite receiver because Josh Gordon's on suspension, and Gibson, your free safety, who's a top 10 free safety in the league. And you've got nobody. I don't know why Hugh Jackson took that job. but he's got one hell of a start coming up for him. Now we're going to jump into one madness of free agency in the NFL to the other madness, our March Madness. The NCAA basketball tournament is here. We're ready to rock and roll. We've got Selection Sunday happening, and it's going to be very interesting because unlike some of the tournaments of the past, I don't believe there's a clear-cut leader. So if you're a college basketball enthusiast, this is great for you. If you're a gambler like me, put your head down. This is going to suck because I don't know who to bet on. I'll give you a list of teams that I wrote down that I think have a chance at winning it. And they're all ranked in the top 15. Kansas Jayhawks, the Villanova Wildcats, Michigan State, Virginia, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Oregon, Indiana, Miami, and Purdue. Now, the last three of the aforementioned teams would be considered, in my opinion, Cinderellas to do it. They have a lot of junior and senior players on that team. And what I've noticed, the star power isn't here, but the veterans are there. They have tenure. And all of these teams have guys that are in their second, third, fourth year with the team. So this is going to be a very interesting run. Again, if you gamble, don't bet on this. I'm not liking it, I'm not betting. I don't recommend you bet either. But keep an eye out for Indiana, Miami, and Purdue, as I think those three teams, they may be able to slip that glass slipper on and pull it out this year. And with that, I come to my closing. And what is my objective thought? And my objective thought is going to be a little bit sports, a little bit politics. And it's going to go out to Mike Ditka and his comments regarding President Obama and how he basically failed as a president, in his opinion. And while I don't believe you should be fired from any job for stating an opinion, and I don't believe ESPN fired him for the right reasons, they fired him for image reasons, I don't mind it. I understand why it was done, because his comments were inflammatory. As a matter of fact, one in particular stuck out. Ditka said, and I quote, "The people that hate Donald Trump hate him, but people that like him because he says things that resonate with what they think." Now let that set in. Because when I think of Donald Trump, I think racist. I think bigot. I think hypocrite. I think Mussolini and Hitler. Is that what we want as a president? More importantly, is that what we want our recognizable faces of sports today promoting? Guys that took to Twitter like Dennis Rodman, Latrell Sprewell, Terrell Owens, all in support of Donald Trump. Guess crazy recognizes crazy, right? But more importantly, where are our activists of today? Where are our sports activists today? Where are our Bill Russells and Jim Browns, our Tommy Smiths, our Muhammad Alis and John Carloses? Where are they? Why haven't LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, why aren't these athletes speaking out? Derek Jeter. You want to know why? Money and image. In the late 80s, tennis player Andre Agassi came out with a commercial for Canon EOS Rebel. And image is everything. Well, guess what? Image is everything here too. And the reason why these athletes, our modern day athletes now, don't support politics, one, we don't want them to. Don't know why. We expect them to be model citizens. We expect them to be some individuals that our children can look up to. But we don't want them active in politics or social issues. Number two, money. They don't want to burn bridges and burn financial gains. And quite frankly, there's a lot of money to lose because there's a lot of people, not just dumb people, but intelligent people that support Donald Trump. I'm completely disappointed with today's athlete for that specific reason. They don't take a stance unless it's about money. And if we're going to get better as a society, then we need some active sports athletes to help this generation out. We need them to step up, and we need them to take a stance. That's it for this installment. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Steve Fogmeg. Let me know your comments, give me your opinions, and we'll see you next week.